Yo, what's going on guys? Arekkz here and welcome back to another Division video. And in today's video, I want to speak to you guys about Year 2 content. Last night at exactly midnight CET, that is Malmo time, a tweet went out on the official Division game Twitter handle saying, "Thank you for an amazing Year 1 agents. Tune in tomorrow to twitch.tv/The Division Game, of course the official Division Game Twitch channel, for a special report." Now today is of course a special day. It is the 1 year anniversary for the Division. It has been an incredible year. There have been ups, there have been downs, but at the end of the day, I absolutely love this game. I love this community and it's been great to be a part of it. I want to thank you guys for supporting my videos throughout the year, for, you know, staying tuned, staying engaged, all that stuff like that. Because for those of you guys that do still play the game on a regular basis, yes, we've been through a lot, but we do still love this game. And of course, we also have hopes for what is next. And rather interestingly, there is going to be Year 2 content, because up until now we of course didn't know exactly what was going to be next. Last Stand in terms of the Season Pass is the end. Last Stand was the final thing you get with the Season Pass, and there was of course no communication with regards to what happens beyond that point. But we do now have confirmation that Year 2 is in fact a thing. There is going to be content coming, it's going to be free updates, so in this video we're going to be speaking about that. So if you do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys would like to see in Year 2. I'm still personally hoping that one day I might see raids, some awesome PvE content, as well as the sort of Battle Royale style playlist for survival. But either way, let me know what you guys would like to see. However, to begin with, I want to talk about the tweet. Now, as mentioned, it thanks us for an amazing year, because of course this time last year, 2016, March 8th, was the launch of the game. However, the interesting thing, if you look at the attached image, is at the top it says, "Thank you for an amazing Year 1, and Year 1 is capitalized and is considerably larger than everything else. There is obviously an emphasis on the fact that this is Year 1, and it's not just thank you for supporting the game, full stop. For those of you guys that do want to tune in, it will be live tonight at 6 PM CET, that is Malmo time. If you guys are in the UK, that is 5 PM. If you are on the East Coast, that is 12 PM. And if you are on the West Coast, that is 9 AM. Of course, anywhere else in the world, you want to convert your time accordingly. So tune in, but if you guys do miss it, I will of course be watching it live, and I will of course have a video out for you guys either later on tonight or tomorrow to basically tell you guys everything else that you need to know. However, with that out of the way, let's now talk about the interview. An interview went out on a website called GAMERANT. Now, it was, to my understanding, earlier than it was supposed to. It was supposed to coincide, of course, with the live stream, so it's kind of annoying they did that, because it did sort of somewhat steal the thunder. But it's out there now, so let's talk about it anyway. So they basically had an interview with Julian Garrity, who is the creative director, and he basically revealed the intentions for the studio's Year 2 content. Obviously not to the full extent, we haven't got full details on this with regards to exactly what the content will be, but there is still some rather interesting information here. So first thing he says is that it's been revealed that there will be 2 free expansions for all Division players, the first one coming at some point this summer. So both of these expansions will be free. There'll be no season pass attached to this. There'll be no content that you have to purchase with your own money. This will be content that everybody can benefit from. The interview begins with a quote saying, "We are looking to re-engage the players in light of the first year celebration for the Division by recommitting ourselves to the game in the upcoming 12 months. We will be delivering 2 separate expansions for the game free to everyone in the next 12 months. Of course, the first year celebration that Garrity spoke about is the special live stream that is happening tonight, so I imagine we'll see some familiar faces on there, probably also some other people, maybe some people from sort of Ubisoft and whatnot. Maybe Julian himself will show his face, so definitely kind of tune in for that. It should be good fun. However, he then went on to say that while he can't go into too many details with regards to what the expansions will contain, because of course that's stuff they will reveal over the coming months and whatnot, and of course they'll share that during various live streams as they have done in the past. What he did say was, the first expansion that we'll be focusing on, which will be a pack for summer this year, is really going to continue this philosophy that we put into place with the 1.4 update. It's a philosophy of generosity and rewarding players for spending time in the game and playing and driving them to player-driven activities where they can craft their own unique stories. That is something we really, really believe in." He then goes on to say that one of the big pieces of new content is an events structure, which will reward players for participation, completion, and competition within a playlist of activities that has a modifier. Basically taking a set number of activities within the game and adding a spin to them that makes players see them in a whole different light and play them in a whole different way. So taking a step back for a second, talking about that sounds remarkably like, if you guys have ever played Destiny, the Strike playlist. What I would imagine that is, obviously we'll find out more details tonight, and I will of course clarify that once we do know more. But what I'm going to imagine is that will be some sort of mission playlist where, say, you might jump in, it might give you a random mission, let's say Lincoln Tunnel Checkpoint. and it will then assign modifiers to that. So if you look to Underground and the way you have modifiers that say make you lose the remaining ammo in your magazine if you reload, or remove your minimap, or make it so that you can only use one skill at a time. Things like that. Those kind of modifiers, hopefully some sort of slightly more exciting ones as well. But I would imagine they would then have a playlist, you would then jump into it, probably something you match make. They seem to have kind of like gravitated towards that since Survival and Last Stand. That is something that in the original game, kind of the initial directive, they didn't really want to do that. They wanted to try and remove menus for the most part, but since they've now done that for Survival and Last Stand, they seem to be pretty happy with using playlists. So I would imagine you would load into it, it would then probably cycle you between missions, maybe even incursions, who knows, and you would of course then have modifiers applied, and then once you complete them, there will of course be appropriate rewards tied to it, whether it will be, say, a rank system, whether it will be, you know, predetermined gear, something like that, but either way, a means to play content that we know right now, but in a different way. Of course, listening to that does sound like it focuses around content that already exists in game. Hopefully, these updates do still add some additional content, stuff we haven't done before, instead of just kind of making us play the same content in a different way. But either way, that could still be really cool, because that's something that is a PvE activity that people can jump into, they can load into, they can kind of play through, enjoy it, and then, you know, hop in, hop out, depending on how much time they have. So that could be pretty cool. Definitely interested to hear more about that. However, moving on from there to speak about the next bit, Garrity then went on to say this is really PvE focused, at least at the beginning. We may open it up to more activities afterwards, but at the beginning, we really want to use all of the activities that are open to everybody. It's a free update, a free expansion. It really is delivering more activities to the greatest number of players in the community. So I know that a lot of people, say in light of Last Stand, were a little bit disappointed that there wasn't too much PvE content. Sure, we got the contamination events in the Dark Zone. We also got, say, the new incursion. But ultimately, Last Stand was a PvP-focused expansion. And while I don't personally think that's necessarily a bad thing, because we have, of course, had numerous different PvE editions in the past, it is nice to have something more kind of PvP-focused. It is good to know that they are kind of like reasserting their focus back on PvE to make sure that the kind of wider community do have a large chunk of things to do for the people that don't necessarily want to dive into the Dark Zone, dive into Last Stand, and kind of engage with other players in a sort of competitive environment. So that's definitely promising. Hopefully that also means there may well be scope for my raids one day. I honestly think it's probably never going to happen, but I'm never going to let go of that. Until the day the Division finishes, I'm still going to hold on to the hope that one day we might get raids. Either way, that was pretty much the end of the interview because, of course, Garrity himself said he didn't want to reveal too much because, of course, that is down to the team to reveal over the course of the next few months and whatnot. They will probably have a kind of planned structure whereby they reveal different aspects of the update. Hopefully, there'll also be like another associated ETF. They seem to have done that a lot recently. There seems to be an ETF per update since 1.4. So I would like to think they would do one ahead of, say, this next update, especially when you consider if there's like a big PvE focus. It would be a great chance to let the community have some input. I would honestly love to see it if they did an ETF a little bit earlier than normal, so there's still scope for people to kind of suggest ideas before it's sort of set in concrete and people are more about just sort of testing what is already there. Either way, something to think about, but for the time being, Year 2 is confirmed. Division is not over. After Last Stand, there will be 2 more free expansions, completely free to everyone, and again, reminder to the PS4 players, the timed exclusive window finished with Last Stand, so every content update that goes out from this point onwards will be on all platforms at the same time. Also, as a passing note, it's just nice to kind of hear this confirmed once again that Year 2 content is in fact a thing, because some of you guys might remember an article that went live last week, I believe, where it was announced that Massive is actually working on an Avatar game as sort of like their next title, rather interestingly. And some people then began to ask the question, well then what does that mean for the future of the Division? Does that mean that, you know, Last Stand is the end? Does that mean there is nothing beyond that point? Are we then going to have to kind of transition into some weird Avatar game with a kind of Dark Zone in the forest? Obviously not happening, but do bear in mind, Massive is, no pun intended, a massive studio. And this is often one of those things that happens in game development. Studios work on multiple different things, so just kind of good to know that their new project, working on Avatar, does not in any way, shape or form impact the Division's future. And then, of course, we do still have a good line of content up ahead. So, really exciting time. As mentioned, live stream tonight, 6 PM Malmo time, 5 PM UK time, 12 PM Eastern time, and 9 AM Pacific time. I will be watching it, so again, if you guys miss it, then you can tune in either tonight or tomorrow for more information. But for the time being, that is pretty much it. So definitely let me know your thoughts down below, especially now knowing that it's a PvE-focused update. What would you guys really like to see? Maybe there are things that you guys have been hoping for quite some time you would definitely like to sort of see added. All that stuff, let me know down below, and we can kind of have a conversation on that. Also, one final thing, I actually saved it to the end because it's not strictly speaking Division related, but I am still running a giveaway for those of you guys that want a chance to win a Nintendo Switch. If you want to win that, I will leave a link to the giveaway in the description box down below. It ends tomorrow, so make sure you get your entry in. It's open to anyone worldwide, so if you want a chance to win that, then, you know, definitely check it out. Anyway, thank you for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.